nonprofit radio coverage of 19NTC. You know what that is. It's the 2019 Nonprofit Technology Conference. We're at the Convention Center in Portland, Oregon. This interview, like all of our 19NTC interviews, brought to you by our partners at Act Blue, free fundraising tools to help nonprofits make an impact. They're right next door here. I know you can see them on the video. You got a piece of them in the video. And with me now is the CEO of the hosting organization of NTC, which a lot of people call NTEN. We'll get to that. But the organization is NTEN. The conference is NTC. And Amy Sample Ward is the CEO of NTEN, and of course our social media and technology contributor on Nonprofit Radio as well. It's wonderful to see you.
Thank you. It's nice to get to be in person.
Yes, we say that every year, but that's the only chance we get now.
Yes, exactly.
Since you
I'll have to coordinate a trip to New York at the same time as a recording.
As a show?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be very nice if you could do that on a
sure.
Friday. Friday 1 to 2. We're still same as we used to be.
We'll try and make it happen.
How many years have you been out here now? 5, 6?
Have I been out
yeah,
here?
How many,
well, I
since you
used
moved
to be out here.
Well, yes, you were born here.
But I moved back.
Yes.
Yeah, 6 years ago. Six years ago is this summer. Because that's 6 years ago this summer I will have been the CEO.
Okay. June. That's right. You took over
in June.
You took in June. And before that you were the membership director.
Correct.
But on Nonprofit Radio much, much longer than that.
Right, and why do you know so much about me? This is like a strange fact-finding.
Because it's common knowledge. Who doesn't know? It's on it's on Wikipedia. Fair. And I knew you when you were the membership.
I don't think I have a page on Wikipedia.
You don't?
I don't think so.
I don't either. I don't think it's something you need to aspire to necessarily. No.
Just sharing for transparency.
I don't feel bad about that. All right, so we're at NTC, which a lot of people say we're at NTEN. Yes. I had probably a dozen people email me. I'll meet you at NTEN.
Yes.
I'm going to NTEN. I heard you're going to NTEN.
Yes.
And I don't bother to correct them. Do you? I know you probably get it 100 times more than I do. Do you correct them or do you just accept it?
We don't necessarily say, oh, you said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
We just respond with, yes, we'll see you at the NTC.
Oh, you do then? You do? Okay,
yes.
I do the same thing. All right, that's all right.
In conversation or email, we do that. But on Monday and Tuesday, a lot of the work of whichever staff person was currently we call it social media captain, whoever's the ones, staffing social media.
For that day?
We do like 2 hours at a time. Otherwise you get, sucked into the internet.
Right.
A lot of their work the couple days before the conference is replying to people that are using the wrong hashtag.
Okay.
And saying it's not N1019, it's 19NTC.
Oh, people do. Oh, people do 19N10 too.
They do every combination of N10 and the year and NTC and the year. Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of it is just. So glad you're excited. Please use the actual hashtag.
Okay. We have these for a reason.
Right.
Okay, so we are at NTC, which is hosted by NTEN.
Correct.
Okay, we've said that correctly. So I see so I'm opposite the audience big center.
Yeah, the main stage.
The main stage. I'm opposite the main stage, and I saw right now it says gender neutral restrooms.
Yes.
But earlier,
I always say bathroom too. And the other day,
I'm reading the word restrooms. And
I made this
bathroom.
intentional kind of thought of, you don't take a bath.
No, I know. It's
so a restroom is really just.
Well, you're not really resting either.
Right.
Depending on what your health is, depending on the status of your health,
yes.
You may not be resting either. But I do see 2,345 registrants so far.
As of yesterday, at least.
Oh, so still
people
counting.
Are still, yeah.
I see 1,474 first-time registrants.
Yeah.
That's enormous.
It is. It's higher than we usually have. And I think we were chatting about it on staff.
That's more than half.
Right.
Are people dying?
No.
You have an attrition problem?
I think it is also important to remember that this is the most attendees we've ever had. So it isn't as surprising that there's a significant bump in new folks because we've never been in Portland before.
But as a proportion, how does
But I'm just saying the NTC has never been in Portland. So that's a lot of folks who've never had the conference come to their area. Even if it's not Portland, the larger region. And the last time the NTC was in the Pacific Northwest was Seattle in 2005.
Oh my!
So a lot, the Washington, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Alaska, what we consider the Pacific Northwest, those 5 states, haven't had an NTC in a super long time. So I think there's a lot more folks from the greater region that came out this year that have never come.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Since I'm
but we're
looking
also excited that many new folks were ready to come in.
It's a great energy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, are there stats on the longest, the greatest longevity at NTC? I haven't seen that slide.
Well, we don't necessarily, in the super early days, there wasn't like a database that was trying to track it.
Yeah.
So we don't have the receipts
Okay.
from 2000,
2001,
2001, 2002.
Okay.
But we do track how many folks have hit the 10-year mark. And I think that we have a slide, I think it's like 76 that are here have been to 10 or more.
Okay. That's impressive. That's
Yeah.
impressive. I have to, shout out NTC and NTEN for the slide I just saw. That it's very friendly. There's a breastfeeding and lactation room, and it's not off in the corner. It's right by the elevators. It's very prominent, actually.
Yes.
You have a meditation room and a meditation and Reiki room.
Prayer room, quiet room.
Yes, so that because this can be cacophonous and
Right.
fast learning, and oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. How can I bring all this back? And I need to settle.
Right.
I need some
and we have folks who feel like
quiet.
they have to miss an entire session block because they need to go back to their hotel to make sure that they can pray at a certain time. Like, no, just come downstairs for those 15 minutes and pray and go back to your session. Yeah.
Very, very just I don't know, welcoming. Welcoming of all.
We want it to be welcoming.
Of all, well, DEI, of all, you're inclusive. You're inclusive and welcoming.
Thank you for saying
it's
that.
outstanding.
Thank you
Absolutely.
for noticing
No.
those efforts. Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, because that all takes time and money and staff.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. So we have 300 sessions here at 19NTC?
We've got 180, over 300 speakers.
Speakers, 300 speakers. You got a lackluster host. I'm sorry, but
It's
the only one
okay.
you're stuck.
I'm here
It's
to
the only
correct
one.
the facts. Yes.
Yes.
No fake news.
Okay, right. Oh, please don't even. Okay, so 300 speakers,
Yep.
180 sessions.
Yep.
We've got a record here at Nonprofit Radio, 37.
Wow,
37
interviews.
Yes.
That's going to be
That's
a
huge.
full schedule.
It is full,
Yeah,
actually.
that's awesome.
Last year was 28 or 30.
Okay. 37 though.
37, yes.
Yeah.
Every session blocked. Shout out to Ash, who helped
Yeah.
us by sending emails to all the
Yep.
speakers that he'd been coordinating with.
Yeah.
He was excellent.
Great.
Helped us get a record.
Great.
Here. I don't know. You'd have to extend the conference for us to have more. We're not. How would you say? I guess we're not sustainable.
Right.
We're not. Yeah.
It's not scalable.
Scalable. Thank you. You're here to
Yes.
correct. We're not scalable. We are sustainable. We're not scalable.
Yes.
You'll have to expand the conference for us to get more than 37. Or I don't eat lunch. I don't get a restroom break.
Yes.
Neither of which is sustainable
Right. Correct.
or feasible. What else we got? Menus. Your food here is always very good. Always the gluten-free options, vegan.
Kosher,
you take-
halal, everything.
Excellent. Yeah, you take a lot of care in that. That costs money. That stuff
It costs
money,
a
right?
lot of money. It costs
Kosher-
a gross amount of money.
Kosher and halal is a lot more than
Yeah.
just bring us whatever you got.
Yeah,
Bring us the hot dog.
50% of our menu has to be gluten-free and vegan. So that already costs a lot for most venues because they consider that specialty meals.
They do. Is that because of institutional policy at NTEN? Or
Yeah,
because
we
you
just
know
know
that
that by doing that, we're also ensuring that there are other corollary allergies that are being taken care of, and it accommodates a lot more folks with that kind of level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell us about the keynote speaker.
Oh, Idaline Bobet.
Idaline.
Yeah.
Idaline. I love that. Idaline
Yes.
Babet. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Please.
She is incredible. She is a community activist and technologist and an everything. And we asked her to join us and share some of her experience, some of her views, specifically because of her work at the intersection of kind of traditional nonprofit work, which isn't necessarily one campaign or one organizing effort, but meant to be kind of sustained programs over time.
Mm-hmm.
And what does it look like to do that with folks who are only going to be engaged for one protest or one march or one campaign, one program? Maybe they will be inspired to join after that, but you're not necessarily banking on that, right? So her experience and work at those two intersections, all of it because of technology. She shared this morning, but also a lot of what she's passionate about is making sure that everyone who works for social impact, whether you're in a nonprofit, you're building your own activism, you're a community organizer in your community, that you are ensuring you have tech skills, because that is going to be what helps us win these fights, right? You have to be able to organize online, to use the internet to find information, like all of those pieces, that it's not some IT department in a sophisticated organization. Every single person working for change needs to invest in their own tech skills to be able to really organize and fight.
Now, other days, lots of conferences would have multiple keynote speakers.
Right.
You don't do that.
We don't
do
that.
You have one keynote speaker.
Yes.
And then the other, so tomorrow and Friday, you have the Ignite sessions.
Yeah, so tomorrow are Ignites. There are 6 different people, and they are all telling stories. Their stories are very different from each other, but all of their stories are about how we can use the internet to change our communities, change our organizations, change the world. And on Friday, we announce our 3 awards, the NTEN Award, the Lifetime Achievement Award, and the Rob Stewart Memorial Award. So Friday is a brunch. We got a jazz band. There is even more food than we already provide, and we'll just announce those community awards.
Okay.
Yeah.
When do we get the announcement about 20 NTC?
2020. They're all up on the website.
Oh,
so in 2020, we will be in Baltimore. In 2020, 20 NTC is in Baltimore, 21 NTC is in Pittsburgh, and 22 NTC is in Denver.
Oh, okay. Pittsburgh. That's where I went to college.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Carnegie Mellon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I like Pittsburgh a lot.
I like Pittsburgh, too. And especially when we're talking about the nonprofit sector and the tech sector, those two, the intersection of them, but those two are really changing Pittsburgh right now.
Between CMU and Pitt, but then also Duquesne.
Right.
The universities have been
so many
big drivers
indie
of
tech companies
tech
and startups there. There's nonprofits who've been there for 100 years, and there's nonprofits who are just starting. You know, it's a really vibrant city.
And
so I'm excited to go there for the NTC.
They've had a true revolution. I mean, that was steel manufacturing.
Right. Industrial city.
Back just as recent as like the 70s, there would be sometimes the street lights would have to come on in the middle of the day because of the coal ash.
Right.
That's an output of steel manufacturing or something like that. I mean, it was a dirty manufacturing city.
Right.
But that part of the industrial
revolution,
our industrial economy.
Yeah.
And then, but now very high tech, biotech.
Right.
The University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, huge, so huge in medical tech, and also
some incredible museums
IT as well.
and art organizations there. So really, I'm excited. And I'm also excited for Baltimore next year. You know, Baltimore has seen a lot of visibility and news, I think, in ways that folks can believe things about Baltimore or make generalizations about Baltimore that aren't consistent with the lived experience of the community there. Okay. You know, and especially with NTEN's focus on digital equity, there's a lot of work in Baltimore right now to make sure people have access and are getting online, are part of the internet world. So I'm really excited for what we can do in Baltimore and, you know, things we can lift up from the local community at the conference, which, you know, is part of what we are always doing, trying to make sure people are out and connecting and experiencing the city when they come to a conference. So
So for so many years you were wedded to contracts that had been signed years ago, and you were alternating.
And they don't exist anymore.
Yes, this is your first year of freedom, isn't it? From those.
To New Orleans was our first.
Oh, it was. It was last year.
Because 17 NTC was our last DC contract.
Okay.
Yep.
I brought a piece of nostalgia. Amy,
Ooh.
And I forgot to get it because I was so excited to get started. Could you bring me our... She's off camera dancing around. My laptop bag, please. There's a bit of just a little nostalgia. We'll see.
I'm excited.
It's not too far back. Okay, so what else can we... what else do you want to acquaint us with 19 NTC? What else?
I mean, I'm really excited for this year because we have a couple different kinds of sessions. In the past, you know, we've always had 90-minute sessions, and they could take different formats, panels or presentations.
90? Weren't they 75?
No.
They were 90?
But now, this year, we've introduced tactical sessions. So these are intentionally short. They're only 30 minutes long.
Oh, right. This is the first year.
They're meant to just be like truly tactical. These are 5 tools you can use to do X. So folks can use that as their time to just, pick their new photo editor or their whatever, and get really specific advice about how do I do this thing in WordPress or whatever it might be.
Sounds like the click candy of conferences.
Right.
30 minutes, quick.
Right.
Learn something fast in 500
Take
words
it
an
and
hour.
go. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're excited just to test that out this year and see how it goes, see what we can learn from that, how to make it better for next year. But I'm excited that we can have both of those, so it's not always big, heavy, brain-taxing topics. There's also some that are like, we just had lunch. I just want you to tell me what app to use, for managing Twitter or something, and I want to go.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Was that staff-driven or community idea?
Yeah, community. Folks have been asking for, not a 30-minute session specifically, but they've been asking for other ways to get more lighter weight tactical content, and wondering, if you have a whole 90 minutes, well, you're going to have to cover, here's 100 tools that you could, and that's not helpful too, because now it's overwhelmingly a long list.
Okay.
So we've heard that community feedback for a few years, and this was our first attempt at how to make it happen.
All right.
Yeah. So what's your nostalgia?
From
Ooh.
2016, I brought the last print. The last print
program guide.
Program, exactly. I have to say, these were, from the nonprofit radio perspective, this was actually a little more convenient for me.
Yeah.
Because I could have it out, and I could go right to, I had all the pages dog-eared for which session I was going to interview next. See, they're highlighted, they're starred. It was a little easier for me. So I would just break
It's
the
like your
spine,
conference yearbook.
and they would lay flat. Yeah, and then I could just pass this off to the person doing our post-production, and then he would have it always was a guy. He would have the information that he needed, and I didn't have to type it out or send him to a site. It was a little easier for me. But see, instead I had to buy
Well,
I bought a book.
we have a
but
PDF version of the agenda that you can have that in print.
I guess I could go print that. Yeah. All right. I'm not sure. But anyway, so this is a keeper. This is like the last the last stapled Rolling Stone magazine.
Right, exactly.
Let's talk about DEI.
Okay.
And as it relates to the conference.
Sure.
NTEN is very conscious of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yep.
Aside, you certainly mentioned the prayer rooms, very important. What else? Folks should know that this is a very consciously designed conference.
Sure. I mean, I guess there's a few different layers we could talk about. One is the kind of surface experience layer where, yes, you could go to a prayer room, you can get pronoun ribbons, you can use a gender-neutral restroom, those kind of surface level things. The next layer down are things that only some people see, and that is work we do with speakers. We give them communications and training ahead of time, orientation ahead of time, and then we give them essentially like reminder sheets in their room that remind them of, not saying you guys, not saying IT guy, or, whatever. What can be a common microaggression as a speaker, only calling on certain people. So we try and train them to be ready to act in a way that is consistent with how we want this conference to go. And then the next layer down from that are things that folks probably don't see at all, which are, the policies and practices we have for picking and engaging vendors. Anyone that works with us has to commit to our policies, has to participate in an open process. We invite certain folks to apply to be vendors. So there are things that happen behind the scenes that also help create the accountability kind of at the beginning of that chain that we really want to be part of. We're told every year by the convention center that we work with that they have never had, which I can't believe is true. But
this is all different.
But they tell us
all different convention centers
that they've never had anybody say, "We will only be here if we can have gender-neutral restrooms." That we will only be here if you open up your process to hire folks of color. If so when we put that out, convention center staff say, we've never been asked this before. We've never been asked to meet these expectations. We will, let's go work to do this. And some of the folks we've worked with have said, now that you're demanding this of us, I'm in a position to tell, the place I work, they need these standards, and they need to work in this way.
That's a grand slam.
Right, exactly. So then we can influence that process for other folks.
You're enforcing it through organically,
right?
And they'll do it. They're not only is their consciousness raised, but they'll adopt policies,
right,
organically,
right.
And for market driven purposes, they want to attract other conferences,
exactly,
and they can now hold this out as an attribute, whereas before NTEN came, they didn't even, maybe they didn't even have consciousness, or if they did, they didn't have it on an organizational level.
And I think it's important when we're talking about organizational institutional power and how to use that power. It is in that way, in negotiation, in contracting, but it's also, we have in our policies that we will not hold any of our conferences in a state that has laws that discriminate. So when, a certain state says, hey, we really want you to come, and we say, great, well, you just introduced this bill. We will not come to your state.
Yeah.
We are not an organization that has lobbyists and does that kind of work.
You just have the money that you spend.
But a convention center does.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Giant hotel chains do. So when we tell them we will not come there, we will not give, the Marriott or the Hilton or whoever any more money unless you go send your lobbyist to take down that bill from your state Congress. That's also a form of institutional power that we want to be consciously wielding.
Well, then New York is open, and North Carolina is out.
It's true. North Carolina is out.
And Indiana's out, Amy says as well. Yes. My wife and I live in 2 different cities. I don't know if everybody knows that. You may have heard that from time to time. If you listen a lot, you may have heard rumors to that effect.
If you're an insider.
It's true. If you're an insider. Yes, thank you. We have a couple minutes left.
Okay.
What's new at NTEN?
Well, we're hiring 2 positions right now.
We're
hiring a office and admin coordinator, so somebody that would be working with all staff on, all of the kind of admin processes like renewals and invoices and all of that kind of stuff. But then also working with the technology team on in-office technology support, getting to learn how to manage a database. We're thinking of it as essentially our entry-level tech job that we've never been able to create before, so that we are also building up new technologists who are probably not with a degree in technology or anything like that. And then we're also hiring a membership and marketing director.
That used to be your job.
Yes, many years ago.
Membership included marketing as well. It just wasn't in the title.
Right.
And had someone left and created an opening?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we use that opportunity, just to kind of really refine what they'll do. And we can talk more about this in coming months, but later this year, in 2019, we're going to roll out a new membership model. So they'll also get to be part of the strategy and implementation of that. Of course, this is a long time coming. Staff have been doing this work. They're not going to get hired and make it up. We've already got it, but they'll be part of how we message it and how we work with the community and that change.
I'm a member.
You are.
Does this mean the price is going up?
No, it's not about that. It's just the model around membership and what it means to be a member, what you get as a member.
All right. Yeah. So we will talk about that in coming months.
Yeah.
Remind me if I forget to ask you.
Okay.
In coming months.
For sure.
And let's make it explicit.
Okay.
The NTEN office is in Portland.
Yeah.
This is where you're based.
Yeah, this is our first time being at home.
This is the first time?
Ever.
You said that. You said that before. Yes. But of course you do have virtual employees. We know that.
Right.
We know that from previous conversations.
Yep.
How many here in Portland?
We have
how many out of
11 in Portland, and we have 3 that are remote. We're hiring 2, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay, so you're going up to 16. You'll have 16 staff. Does that sound right?
11. Oh, I must have done the math wrong. We'll be at 15.
11 and 3 is 14. Oh.
Yeah, so 10 and 3.
10 and 3,
Yep.
and then plus 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. We could leave it there, or we could talk for another minute. So let's talk for another minute. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't get to see you that often.
Yeah.
And we're
Well, what's new with nonprofit radio?
I would say the biggest thing new on nonprofit radio, very exciting, the Act Blue sponsorship.
Yeah,
Sponsorship
I think that's
of
great.
us.
Act Blue is an
right next door.
awesome
Yes.
vendor partner in the sector. We appreciate that they are a good one to partner with you. You know, I would have told you if they were a bad one. You know
Okay.
that.
Thank
so.
you. Yes, I would. Yes. I know you would have. You would have looked out for me. Thank
Yes.
you. So that's very exciting to have
Yeah.
that kind of prestigious partner with
Yeah.
us. And the other thing new at Nonprofit Radio would be the insider. The insider videos that I'm
Yeah.
a little late on rolling out. I
They're
have
coming.
them.
They're coming.
I have them. They're on my phone. They're in the Zoom. They're in the Zoom cloud.
Nice.
Post production by me has not been done yet. But yes, so only insiders
Nice.
can get a little deeper dive. Short form, 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Video, deeper dive with a guest. Than
What
than we were able
about
to
what
do
about
on the
outside
show.
of nonprofit radio? What other work stuff? We never talk about your work stuff.
yeah,
we always
we
have to
don't.
talk about my work stuff.
My plan giving consulting,
Yeah.
2019, two very, very, I think, marquee names. I'm now consulting in plan giving for what is now Brady, which used to be the Brady,
Brady
Center
Center.
or the Brady Campaign.
Yep.
To prevent gun violence.
Right.
They've now just rebranded within the past few weeks. They rolled
Yeah.
out their Brady.
Yeah. Thank you for doing work with them.
And I am their plan giving counsel.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
And this is a very big year for them. 25th anniversary of the signing of the
Yeah,
Brady Bill.
right.
40th anniversary of. They have another anniversary too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's the 25th anniversary of the signing of the Brady Bill.
Yeah.
And the other marquee name really is Visiting Nurse Service of New York.
Oh, cool.
That's a huge agency.
Yeah.
They have 15,000 employees.
Right.
$2 billion in revenue.
Yeah.
And
important work.
I am building their plan giving program as well.
Oh, great.
Expanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for
That
doing
is
all
very
of
cool.
that.
Oh,
That's
thank-
important
oh,
work.
Thank you for
We never
thinking.
get to talk about it.
No, we don't. Because I don't like, I
Yeah,
feel
but
like
like, what if I get
if
to
talk
interview
about-
you one day?
Let's not get carried away. You
Okay,
asked me one
fine,
question.
fine,
that's,
fine.
let's leave it there. And now it is time. So
Okay.
I have to say goodbye.
Okay.
Congratulations
Thank you for
on
having me. Thank
my-
you for being a part of this fun 3 days.
This is our fifth.
Yeah.
This is Nonprofit Radio's fifth NTC.
yeah.
But I haven't been to a session yet.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm
Johnny.
always,
well,
I'm
you've
always doing this.
overbooked
I'm always
yourself.
doing this. Yeah.
You get your own version of the session with the speakers here.
I do.
So,
I get.
yeah.
How many? I get 37 sessions.
Right.
I get the quick. I get the.
The short version, the Cliff Notes.
I get the 30-minute version of 37 sessions.
Yeah.
She's Amy Sample Ward. She's the CEO of NTEN, and we're at 19 NTC. She's also the social media and technology contributor for Nonprofit Radio. And this interview, like all our 19 NTC interviews, is brought to you by our partners at Act Blue, free fundraising tools to help nonprofits make an impact. Thank you so much for being with us.